Here, the government says it will ban so-called laughing gas or nitrous oxide. The plan revealed by Levelling Up Secretary Michael Gove is part of a raft of measures to tackle antisocial behaviour. They'll also target vandals and graffiti artists who will be made to repair any damage they've caused within 48 hours of being sentenced. Our political correspondent Shihab Khan explains.
This has become a rather common sight, used laughing gas canisters littered around. Kerry Donaldson used to do hundreds of them on a weekly basis, unaware of the dangers. It's left her paralysed in her 20s and she now needs a wheelchair for the rest of her life. She's not sure how to stop people using the drug.
I do approach him and I'm like, this is my situation and this is where I ended up for doing it. I don't really try and say to people, oh, don't do it, and like push them off it, because if you push someone off something, they're going to want to do it more and they're not going to want to listen to you.
But that's exactly what the government plans to do. Tomorrow they'll be announcing that nitrous oxide or laughing gas is being banned as part of their crackdown on antisocial behaviour. The gas is inhaled and gives a brief high, and it's the second most used drug for 16 to 24-year-olds.
Those silver canisters of laughing gas have become an increasingly frequent occurrence. People, when they walk down the street, when they're in parks, they see them. They are the residue of drug taking. We need to make sure that our public spaces are orderly, that they don't become arenas for drug taking.
The ban goes further than the recommendations of an independent review that was commissioned by the Home Office, which said it would be disproportionate given the level of harm that's associated with it.
Banning any drug hasn't ever stopped them from being used, and I think what it actually has done is driving up the harms from their use, particularly because people are then not going to be able to look for legal medical support when it comes around.
Politicians are pushing for this to be banned. Many have in the past admitted to taking Class A drugs recreationally. What do you think about that?
I'm quite shocked, honestly, that when we're talking about creating criminal records for young people that are using these substances, someone that knows what the consequences are and that has managed to escape without any sort of consequence is really quite rich.
The ban is one part of the government's new plans to crack down on antisocial behaviour. Another includes punishing those who vandalise to clean up the damage they cause in high-vis clothing. Labour say after the Conservatives' 13 years in office, the measures are just more of the same.
We've got to judge this government on its record. It has been in charge now for 13 years, and in that time, community sentencing has fallen not by a third, but by 2/3.
Full details of the plans are expected later this week, and the government is insistent their latest measures will stamp out the issue of antisocial behaviour once and for all.
Well, Shihab, as you say, a raft of measures, but why is the government announcing it now?
Yeah, it's worth remembering that Rishi Sunak hasn't actually been Prime Minister for a very long period of time, and we are now entering this period where he's in a position now to really pitch where he stands on a number of things. When he first came in, it was dealing with what he had inherited. He's now in a place to, on those big issues, things like crime, things like health, really stamp his authority and where he actually stands on these issues. Also, we are going to have an election at the very latest next year, so all the political parties will be doing exactly that. We heard from Labour last week on their positions on immigration, on crime, and we will be hearing from all the political parties because it really feels like everyone is getting ready for the fact that there's an election coming up by the end of next year. For Rishi Sunak moving forward, it will be incredibly important for him to tackle those issues that win votes, those issues that people really care about, whether it's health, whether it's the economy. That's why those details of these plans, which we're expecting next week or this coming week, will be incredibly important.